This is the youngest woman in America to ever be put on death row. Christa Pike. Wow, where do I even start? Christa was born with severe brain damage because her mother was drinking pretty heavily throughout her entire pregnancy, and Christa had a terrible childhood. I'm not even gonna lie. Her parents were neglectful and abusive. Christa was often bounced around from mom's house, dad's house, grandparents' house, and they all sucked. By the time that Christa was 15 years old, she had been essayed by multiple men, and this abuse started as early as when Christa was 2 years old, and one of these men even included their dog in the essay of 12-year-old Christa. By the time that Christa was 18 years old, she was a high school dropout. She spent some time in juvie, but she said that she wanted to turn her life around, so she joined Job Corps. If you're not familiar with what this was a government-funded program where troubled teens and early adults could live on this campus all together. They would finish their education, learn skills, so hopefully one day they could have a great career. But only after a few days on campus, Christa met 17-year-old Daryl Ship, and they started this relationship. It was extremely toxic. Daryl was really into a lot of really weird, dark, creepy things, and this toxic, abusive relationship that they had completely distracted them from what they went to Job Corps to do, which was better their lives. Christa also started this feud, you could say, with another girl on campus, 19-year-old Colleen Schlemmer. Colleen was at Job Corps for all the right reasons. She really did want to better her life and have a great career one day with computers. That was her dream. But Colleen was sucked into this petty teenage drama by Christa. Christa was convinced that Colleen wanted her man, Daryl, and that Colleen was obsessed with her man. But if anyone in this case is obsessed with anyone, Christa was obsessed with Colleen. She was always talking about her, how much she hated her. She was pretty much stalking her around campus, threatening her and bullying her all the time. And then one day in January of 1999, Christa goes up to Colleen and asks if they want to call a truce, and asked her if she actually wanted to hang out that night, kind of like a peace offering. So that night, 18-year-old Christa, her boyfriend, 17-year-old Daryl, and their friend, 18-year-old Shadola Peterson, all lured 19-year-old Colleen off of campus, and then once they were alone in this creepy part of the woods that was like off of a park, Daryl and Crystal attacked Colleen, while Shadola kind of stood back and was used as a lookout. This attack on Colleen lasted over 45 minutes, and it was brutal. They were kicking her, beating her. They used a sharp weapon on her 300 times, and then they were dropping these big cement blocks on her until Colleen's skull was completely fractured. Christa even took a piece of the skull back to campus with her and was showing people and bragging to anyone that would listen about what she had just done. Christa has just unalived Colleen over jealousy over a boy, Daryl, that Christa had only known for 3 months. This was all over a 3-month-long relationship. And for some reason, all of these kids on campus that Christa is bragging to that she just unalived Colleen did not tell anyone until Colleen's body was found 2 days later. In police custody, all 3 of them were arrested, obviously, and they all made full confessions. And Christa was smiling the entire time, like she was totally pleased with herself. Since Shadola didn't actually have any physical involvement, technically, in the unaliving of Colleen, she walked away with only probation. Daryl, who was only 17 years old at the time, was sentenced to life in prison with possibility of parole in 2026, which is not that long away, but personally, I don't think there's any chance that they will let him out. And Christa, who was only 18 years old when she unalived Colleen, tried to blame her actions on her bad childhood. We hear that all the time. She was sentenced to death row and was the youngest woman in America to ever be sentenced to death. And Christa, who to this day has never shown any emotion or remorse for Colleen and Colleen's family, cried. She cried a lot. She bawled her eyes out when she found out that she was going to be sentenced to death. Christa also said that she did not think that she deserved to die, but Colleen did. Because you were insecure about your 3-month-long relationship, like, girl, please. And to only further prove how heartless Christa is, only a few days after she was sentenced, she sent Daryl this letter. I'll put part of it on the screen now so you can pause and read it, but it's disgusting, and you will see. There is not an official date set to unalive Christa, but there's been a lot of talk recently to actually set a date since this happened all the way back in 1995. So if you want updates on that, you can always follow me. I'm constantly updating on the cases that we cover. There has been some controversy. Some people believe that Christa at 18 years old was too young for her sentence. Also considering that Daryl was 17. So, you know, a year, actually only a few months younger than Christa. They received life in prison versus, you know, the death penalty. So why is 17 so different than 18? You can let me know what you think about that. Personally, I think that Christa is exactly where she should be. But that's completely my opinion, and I'm open to read all of your guys' opinions in the comments. I'm always reading my comments that you guys leave me. You guys always make up a lot of good points. You guys always have a lot of good, you know, points, thoughts, theories, questions, comments. So I love to read you guys' comments. So definitely let me know all your thoughts about this case, all of your opinions, and let me know what case you want to see me cover next. And I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.